So I'm going to do the podcast on Friday. I've already talked to my man Spiro. He's going to be joining me. And I'll get somebody else. I'll get somebody else. I just kind of want to see. I'm just kind of like taking everything day to day. It's like super exciting right now. I know it's going to be like just crazy when this thing hits. And it's already crazy because I'm already so behind on previews. So let's get back into these reviews, my friends. We're back here for another review here. And this is the one that I missed on the last collection of videos. This is my boy Ultraman, who went all the way to the finals in the Challenger qualifiers to only fall to King Ches 93, also on TLG. Congratulations to both players. Congratulations to every player who competed in the qualifier. If you made it or you didn't make it, day one, day two, no matter how far you went, that takes a lot of energy, time, and planning. So my hat goes off to all of you guys, even though I haven't shaved in a while and I have kind of I got that baldness, you know? I just threw my hat right out there. So I'm just saying, what's up, you guys? You guys did an awesome job. Ultraman just showing that he's got it to get there all the time. But Chezzy, he's been showing he's got it for a while, but he just hasn't cracked in. And he cracked in there. Chezzy 93, King Chezzy coming to Challenger number 5. All right, Dryad Grove Keeper right here. A 4 strength. It is a 4 provision, 3 strength Dryad, saying deploy, give an allied unit vitality with a duration equal to the number of Dryads you control. So what I've been saying, I had a lot of talking before this stream started, but I was talking about that scoia'tael looks like they're going to get harmony, and it looks like they're going to get a little bit of non-harmony. So it looks like they're going to get Dryad tribal stuff, and they're going to get Dryad non-tribal stuff. And that's awesome. So that's what this is. This is a high-value, low-end Dryad tribal synergy card that, with this Waters of Broccolon that creates the fledglings with Fauve and like Call of the Forest and all of these things that are going to be able to like pull out a whole bunch of engines and Dryads at once and create a bunch as well. And you're thinning out with the Broccolon Sentinel. That was the reveal from Tailbot at the Open. Should be not a big problem to get a bunch of Dryads out early. So much in the way that Eilerin is dependable enough to run if you're running her and you have a deck that supports her. This card is gonna get supported, but she's a 4 provision point, like sort of like a pseudo engine. You just can't play her. You can't play her early, but you don't have to play her so late, right? Because if you play her and there's 3 Dryads on the board, you're playing 6 for 4. That's like when you should start going with this card, right? It's a sick card. This card's super strong. And again, just another reason why the fledgling doesn't look that bad. If Lyrian Cavalry doesn't look bad, how can fledgling look all that bad? This card's Weeping Will. It's an 8 provision, 0.5 strength treant. Comes into play with the shield and the deploy effect that when you play this on the melee row, it gains vitality with a duration equal to the amount this unit is boosted. So it's a card that double dips on boost. This is a gold card. That's probably why it was deleted, right? Yeah, okay. I see it in the chat now. I don't know. It's just, I guess, this is a really, really interesting mistake, right? How? Because silver cards were never a homecoming thing ever? So how? I can usually see how a lot of things happen. I can see, but this one truly puzzles me. But let's talk about the actual card. So I was relating this card to Botchling, which is high praise. High praise for a card when Botchling is one of the best cards in a faction. And this card, I think, this card got lukewarm reviews. But I just want to put out that this card does not need a lot of help to be an extremely high value card at 8 provisions. And that is really the only way I'm reviewing this, because like the Botchling, this card is going to be annoying to stop the value part. Maybe, I mean, it's not the best target for Ithlin, but this guy becomes like a crazy scary card. This guy, like, just with 5. Like, you could play Skags with the Agitators and play Ithlin with this. Like, Skags is usually overkill. And now you're playing Dwarves, and now you're playing Elves, and now you're playing Treants, and maybe this is a Dana deck. I don't know. I'm just saying that I think this card, what I saw, the reactions for this card, seem like this just feels like just like a point jukebox. It's got vitality, it's got a row restriction, it's got a deploy effect, it's got a shield, it's got boosts, it cares about hand buff, It's a card that cares about everything, and it's a treant, so it's very harmonious in nature that it has like so much happening with it that it can care about so much, and that's why it does care about so much. So in a deck that supports this card getting extra value, it's going to get a lot of extra value. That's it. This card is just going to be above average. All right, so you got to check out Watch Flake. Go to Watch Flake, watch the whole video, but we're going to watch. First of all, he previewed it as like an Archetypes on steroids, right? There you go. He's looking good here. Flake dropping us with the Archetypes on steroids. 9 provisions for a 6 strength gold card that on deploy spawns an Ekamara on its row, and on Death Wish spawns an Ekamara on its row, and it has Thrive. That's a pretty good card, right? This card probably is damn good, because if your Blood Moon cares about vampires all over the place, this is a vampire that you put that puts vampires all over the place. And if you're re-triggering Death Wishes for whatever reason, I don't know how good that is. Well, the Ekamara is also shown here, right? So the Ekamara is also shown here. Ooh, I agree, Flake. It is a 2-strength doomed vampire. So it is a below average for a Death Wish, but this card gets above average in a Blood Moon situation and makes it pretty reliable, right? Plus it's thriving. But if it gets killed, it's at least leaving a vampire behind. So that means that, you know, making the vampires really sticky means you're making the Blood Moon value very sticky as well. So, and Whispering Hillock as well. Yeah, that's a lot of vampires. Oh my god. But I mean, why do you even forget Whispering Hillock? Why don't you just play Blood Moon on it? If you play Blood Moon on Catachan, you get a vampire on the board back, and you also get Blood Moon for 6 turns. Yeah, you lose the Thrive. But in a pinch, is that not like a pretty good target for Blood Moon? Just saying. Think about it. Flake, great reveal right here. Catachan, awesome. Good to see the Catachan back. It's also like the same. I always thought this artwork was like the same. It was just like this one, you Photoshop the horse out, and it's like the same card. So I kind of think it's cool that these cards are back. Play, because this card's going to see. This card is just. Oh, this card is so good. Queen Adalia for Northern Realms. This is Best Marmot for Gwent France, or tweeting at Gwent France as well, representing Gwent France. Queen Adalia is an 11 provision point, 3 strength human queen, let's say. So we have deploy, spawn, and play a base copy of a bronze unit from your hand and give it a shield. All I'm going to say about 11 provisions and 3 strength is that this is where CD Projekt Red felt that this ability is going to be acceptable and fun, because this ability is so damn strong. It is the first card. I mean, this is probably my favorite card in the set because I love copy shenanigans, but I think that this card could be the closest card, and I hate the word auto include, but I just don't see a Northern Realms deck for the foreseeable future that I am not putting this card in. This card is so great. It is copying stuff for Pravetta later. It's copying the Cintron Royal Guard. It's copying a Commando just to make it more reliable. It's also copying a Tridem so you can get the extra engine on the board. You're copying Blue Stripe Scout so you get an extra copy. By the way, I haven't even mentioned that it gives the unit a shield as well. So that's the part that starts to blow my mind, because I'm already in with the ability without the shield, and then she has the shield as well. Moondust being in the meta matters to this card, because this card is going to be, you're gonna need it to purify and kill the Tridem that this thing makes. This card has to be good. This card has to be one of the best cards in the entire faction, right? For the meme potential and the fact that it's actually good. It's actually good for all the reasons that you love a card to be good, because it's good in memes and it's good. That's why I'm going to say it seems like it's an auto-include, because I'd run it if I was having fun. I would run it if I was getting serious. Like even Vernon Roach, I feel like I kind of have to cater to it. This card is just like, I'll find something. I'll find something to play with this card. So good. I can't stop talking about this card. All right, let's talk about Visegard from Miss Lady J. All right, let's do this. Visegard is an 8 provision point, 5 strength Northern Realms gold. We don't know if I'm not sure if he's a knight or a soldier or what the deal is with his actual tags, but it doesn't matter. He seems like he's going to be good anyway. Deploy, gain charges equal to the number of boosted ally units, and then on order, damage an enemy by 1, but also comes down with a charge, because you have to indicate, I think you have to indicate that he has a charge like pocket, which is right here. This is where he keeps his charges. Again, I'm going to compare this card to Botchling. It's an 8 provision point, 5 strength card that's going to get a lot of value one way or another. And you're going to have to disrupt it, or it's probably going to get like a bunch of value. But this guy also double dips with Bloody Flail, because if he gains charges, the Flail gains charges. Now, Flail isn't seeing play, but I mean, the Flail is actually pretty damn strong, because if it's not removed, it just like it's out of control. It's crazy strong. So it's a good charge card. It's a good, like, it's a human, I'm sure. He just seems good all around. Like, just like Botchling is just a good card, this guy's going to be good as well. But there's also like Knighthood, and there's also like, I think the Knighthood makes the Scytheman deck much, much better, because it's like, that's like, you know, around the area that you might want to play like lower commitment cards if you wanted to make like a more of a mid-range deck. And I think that cards like Botchling and this guy will fit snugly into mid-range, because Northern Realms is starting to look like they have like some pretty damn good cards at 8. It doesn't seem like you're going to have too hard of a time getting like 3 or 4 charges on this card. You then have a consistency on a board state consistency situation where like all your units are crazy hard to remove and they are always boosted. It's not out of the question anymore with Knighthood, and with a lot of cards that care about boosted units, and a lot of great cards that were already boosting units anyway. Like the support that Anna gets in this pack, like Anna is another insane card in a card that is running this card and a card that might be running Hubert, and these are all like 8/7 cards. Like maybe these are like the high value mid-range cards that Full Test could like easily rock with like his ability. Could be like Full Test is his 13 points is seeming a little rough, but I think this card is just really great. All right, so this is Cheeky, Austrian streamer. What a beautiful day for a Play Gwent card reveal for the upcoming expansion. So this is the Traveling Merchant. Deploy range, shuffle a card from your hand into your deck, and then draw a card. And I see the comparisons between like, oh, Nilfgaard, like they gave this to Nilfgaard and now they're giving it to everybody. Well, we're in a world where consistency is desirable and competitive, and people want it because that's how Gwent felt and how good Gwent decks feel. So giving consistency to all factions, that is absolutely, no one should have a problem with this unless it's too good. That's the only reason why you should have a problem with this in a vacuum. The fact that Nilfgaard originally had these abilities and it didn't seem to make that, I mean, this is different. This is a different ability. This is not Vikavar Novice. I think you actually can draw the card that it shuffles in, which makes it, you know, as meme level as Iris's Companions at that point. But if it's like for hand fixing, I think this card is a good neutral card in that it's a good generic ability. I don't think it looks at Nilfgaard like, am I a joke to you, too much? Or Nilfgaard looks back, I guess. Not too much. Not as much as Fisher King maybe did. But again, in a vacuum for neutral ability, these should be in the game. Nilfgaard just needs some love. And I do honestly believe that Nilfgaard is going to get love. And it just might not feel it right away. But, you know, change takes time. All right. Portuguese. So I know the name is wrong. It's Arnvald. So this is Arnvald, 6 provision point, 4 strength, Skellige gold. A cultist, I imagine. Deploy transform a damaged allied unit into a bear abomination. And you can see also on the screen that the bear abomination is a 5 strength doomed unit, as shown in other cards, another card, the Svalblod Fanatic, who transforms into this card. So this is creating a bear abomination that is not going to your graveyard. He triggers the transformation of the Wildkarls at an important event in Skellige. So he's spiking the wine here, and he's transforming people into bears. It's actually like super flavorful. Plus, he's also good in a way that Slave Infantry is good, in that he's taking a unit on the board that's likely at low value and bringing it back up to 5. He's cheaper than Slave Infantry, so that's fine with me. He likely has synergy with the Bear Abomination. I'm still not sure, but I mean, Beast Synergy already exists, and this does care about a damaged unit as well, so that matters. And he's a cultist, so that might matter as well. Not sure. We don't know. The leader might care about Beasts. The leader might care about doomed units for all we know. Like the leader might care. We don't know anything about, like, the leader is really out there. I don't even know what the leader is going to be. So that's it. So that's it. It just seems like a good card. It's just a good average card that is showing why Slave Infantry is good while still making it very like faction specific. It has synergies within, like nice synergies within the faction, right? Good card. Awesome. Arnvald. Good card. Good reveal. This one's so good, guys. Oh man, he dressed up like the Svalblod Priest. This is Korvac. Svalblod Priest. Okay, so this card is like hype as hell, right? This card is super good. This card is like super good and blows the faction wide open, right? Such a sick card. This is a 5 provision point Skellige card. Comes in at 2 strength. Likely a cultist. Looks very. He looks like he's very culty. Every ally turn on turn end, damage the allied unit to the right by 1, then boost self by 2. What? Longships are back. Greatsword-esque gameplay is back. Strengthening isn't going to ruin anybody's fun. And it's like kind of cool to see it back. I'm dead serious. Like Skellige, this is an engine that cares about stuff that Skellige, the stuff that's good in Skellige doesn't care about the stuff that this card cares about as much as other cards you can build. So that just means more archetypes. Self-wound is supported. This card is sick. It's just going to be, this is going to see all sorts of play. All sorts of plays, all sorts of ways this card's going to be good. Put it next to Blue Boy. Put it next to a unit that has Yuan on the board. Put it next to a unit that has Protector on the board. Put this next to any unit that you're trying to trigger a Berserk like trigger. So like it's kind of strengthening the unit, right? If you put this next to the Fanatic, it starts chipping away at the Fanatic, and then the Fanatic transforms into a strengthened pair. I mean, yeah, it's doomed, and it's got going to the graveyard, and I'm pretty sure that's very by design. But that means that you're setting up those plays like easily, right? That means you are setting up the engine to drop your Protector. The Protector boosts when you play it. All the good engines are doing that these days, right? All the good engines are doing that. Gurnakora's Fruit, Meve protecting those engines. You get a boost on an engine right away. Magni kind of did it, and that's why they had to nerf it. This card, just look out. This card's making Skellige good in a bunch of different ways. God bless this card. The Blood God only, though. The Blood God bless this card. Oh, yeah, it's Red Haze. Okay, there we go. So this is Red Haze, another card that's a bomb card, I guess, because I see some bombs, right? They look like the Northern Wind card. This is a 6 provision point card that chooses an enemy unit, and then you damage one adjacent enemy unit by its power. So this also feels a little Nilfgaardy, and I hear you guys. I totally hear you guys on that one. It feels a little Nilfgaardy, however, because it feels like treason, right? It feels like how treason feels. But this is worse. It's a card that I think is totally fine being in the card pool because, again, just like the generic ability of the Traveling Merchant and the Peller and all that stuff, I just think that this is just it's just a card that we're going to have, and Nilfgaard might just get some love. But I feel you guys. I feel you guys on this one. This one's not a super exciting card to see. It's still better than the Musicians of Blaviken. As far as, at least I can see how this card can help me do anything. Okay. Let's get this right. Prince Ensei is a 10 provision point, 4 strength, gold, Northern Realms knight. Let's easily assume that he's a knight because he's mounted. And he has formation. And if you forget, formation means that if he's played on the melee row, he has zeal, and you can use his order right away. And if you play him on the ranged row, he gets boosted by 1. I already screwed up this reading before, so let's try it again. Because this unit does care about that boost. So on formation, so if you play him on the melee row, he damages the unit by 4. And if you play him on the ranged row, you can't do that right away. But if you play him on the ranged row, he's boosted. And then if this card is boosted, instead of damaging a unit by 4, he is now dueling a unit. Selkirk is pretty good. And this is also cool because the dueling portion of this card seems like it's more likely to occur on the ranged row, whereas Selkirk is melee locked. Also, moving this card will not take away his ability to duel you next turn if you play him slow, boosted on the ranged row to make sure that you trigger the boost. On top of that, naturally, since this is Meve's son, this card loves to be boosted, and that's what Meve does. So, mwah, thank you so much for creating a nice synergy here. Not so much with Willem, but definitely, Willem has his own flavor. But this card also, this is great. Like, how good is this? So there's a lot, and you also have other ways of boosting him, because if you're playing him Zeal, you may also have a boost already on the board. You may already have Neneka on the board. You may already have Vess on the board. You may have a drummer on. Well, the drummer boosts and gives him Zeal. So come on, we're already there. Expensive. This might be a little on the expensive side. Ability-wise, power level, this card is sweet, and I would play it if I could fit it in a deck. Absolutely. But like I said, if these are the bad Northern Realms cards, sign me up. I think the faction is just getting. How is Northern Realms not the best? As far as like sheer improvement to the faction, although that Svalblod Priest. That's a game changer like the Cintron Guard, right? The Cintron Spellweaver. That Priest just changes everything. Just like the Cintron Spellweaver like makes 4 or 5 or 6 cards like so much better. The Priest also does that. Plus is also getting cards to support it. The Priest is better like on both ways. Priest might be top 3, top 5 card for Vildkarl. Here we go. Skellige gold card, 9 provision points. Skellige gold card, 5 strength. This artwork is brutal. This premium is going to be hard to look at. Berserk, transform into Champion of Svalblod. And Champion of Svalblod is a 12 strength unit with an order: destroy an allied unit and then heal self. So let's just, so this guy is renewable. So this guy's like Frightener. So this is kind of like Skellige Frightener, right? Because the Frightener is immune. The Frightener is a 12 strength unit that can be renewed. It's also a 9 strength play that needs a trigger. So this card is good as Frightener is. And the Frightener currently has probably more synergy than it's ever going to have in the fact that you have a leader that actually makes 3 dudes. This card will probably see play. I think this card absolutely sees play, and there's probably some stuff I'm not even thinking of. You get this card back into the deck, and now you're playing reveal stuff, but Yetta's already in the game, so I don't think a 12-point unit matters. Having a 12-point unit, like we've seen already in Skellige, that having a 12-point unit available in some way, regardless of its condition, that you can somehow negate or get value from in some way. Becker's, anything that heals. What is it? Erden, on your side. Having this unit in Skellige is not a card that's going to make Skellige like overpowered. It's just a card that a different archetype is going to be happy to use for all the same reasons that Yetta is good, and for new reasons. Card's legit. Vildkarl, these are great reveals today, and we got a leader reveal today too. Holy shit, we got some good reveals today. I was already saying, I was always curious, like the most hype card must have been shown at this point, right? Because when I saw Adalia, I'm like, well, this has to be it. But I was already like not even sure. Because I thought that Portal was maybe the most hype card, although maybe not the most competitive card, but I thought that Portal was going to be like maybe the most hype card of the set. And then I thought maybe Damien, okay, well maybe like the Gwent Open cards, like they saved the most hype cards. They were all gold cards and they were all really good. They showed Crimson Curse on the Gwent Open. I thought maybe they saved all the best cards. Now I am not sure. Now I think that they are just now they are just dumping every card is better than the last one, which is pretty crazy. Although this is not better than Adalia in my mind, but this card is amazing. All right, Treant Boar, this card's dope. Another 8 strength crazy card. Another crazy card at 8. And I feel like that's where these cards, these crazy cards at 8 and 9, either cool cards at 8 and 9, 7 to 9. Well, I mean, Harnval is a cool card at 6. Hell, that's really good stuff. These mid-range cards are super good. We just haven't seen a lot of really strong mid-range cards. We've seen a lot of really strong lower-end cards. But like that, is that what's happening? We're just going up in provision points now. We've seen all the bronzes. Maybe. There's only golds left. We're 3 days away. Maybe we're there. Treant Boar, 8 provision point, 5 strength. Treant? Beast? Nature card? I don't know. Order. On melee, move the Treant Boar to the other row and heal it. Okay? Order on range, move Treant Boar to the other row and damage the enemy by 2. And it can do it every turn. And this card is basically botchling. As good, if not better than botchling. Holy crap, this card is good. So we're talking about the Dolblethana Sentry. So, because I think with a card like Treant Boar, Dolblethana Sentry definitely gains that status in a movement deck. This now becomes the Slizzard of that deck. It is a 4-point engine that is going to get boosted quickly, and it's going to gain value every turn. I'm getting to the point with some of these cards where it's like, there's really not much else to say about the card other than if you look at this card at face value and you think that this card is absolutely good, you are probably correct, because this card has potential to see value that is just clearly on paper there for the 8th spot. because we've seen in other factions that the 8 spot can produce some pretty great cards like Botchling. And this card might actually be better than Botchling